Think of the passion, God love everlasting. Keep the law of the land and book in case you're asking. Moving forward to the learning and it's free. Cause I know that God know the combo go with Sister E. Love talk Sister E, God work Sister E. Charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E. All different type of information every week. Let me speak, if you subscribe we going deep. Love talk Sister E, God's work Sister E. Charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E. Think of the passion, God love everlasting. Keep the law of the land and book in case you're asking. Moving forward to the learning and it's free. Cause I know that God know the combo go with Sister E. Love talk Sister E, God work Sister E. Charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E. All different type of information every week. Let me speak, if you subscribe we going deep. Love talk Sister E, God's work Sister E. Charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E.
Family, what's up? What's up with you? What's going on with you? I know. I've been gone. Trying to get. Hold on, what just happened? What's going on with y'all? What's going on with the family? I want to say shout out to everybody. Everybody. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Y'all see right now, I have this hat on because I'm not finna do anything with my head right now to do this live. So I said, let me put my old trusty Scully on. Y'all wear Scully sometimes. What's going on, y'all? Family, what's going on? Hello, family. I miss y'all. I miss y'all. I miss y'all. I miss y'all. I miss y'all so much. But I take breaks. I have to take breaks right now, y'all. I call them mental health breaks. I have to have them. If I don't have them, then it's not good for anybody. It's good to take a break. Let me tell y'all why it's good to take a break. And I'm learning this in this journey. We make our worst mistakes in this journey when we're at our most exhausted state. You have to rest. That's why the Most High required for us to rest. And I needed a break. You gotta lean into that rest. So many people that I've seen in my communities, in our community overall, they run themselves to the point that they're so tired that they sometimes move too quick, don't move strategically, don't hear from y'all, hear from themselves, and it'll be a whole bunch of mess and a whole bunch of stuff they have to deal with because your body is exhausted and your spirit is exhausted. Somebody in our community, Sheila Rochelle, y'all, shout out to her, and I'm gonna talk about the project we're working on together with a whole bunch of us. But she always tells me, when your cup is empty, Sister E, sit down. You have to have, your cup has to be full, and the overflow is supposed to go to the people. And she always fusses at me when she tells that my cup is empty. Well, y'all, my cup has been dry for the past year. Bone dry. And I try to push myself to do lives. I'm going to get out here and do a live. And then after I get done with the live, it'll be good, but you won't see me for a couple of weeks because I'm bogged down with life. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. So when I hop out here and do these lives, it's the energy that I have, but then I go back again and just go rest some more, and then come back out. And it wasn't it wasn't giving anything to the community, but it was also pulling from me. So I was never able to pour into the community, and I was tired and I was burned out. So when I take breaks, I take them for a reason, so I can reset and be ready for the next discussion. I know a lot has been going on. I've been having people call me and ask me, Sister E, it's so much going on and you not talking about it. Where are you? I said, I see what's going on. I understand that I'm watching everything that's going on. I'm watching the news consistently. I'm watching the news all of the time. And I'm watching and I'm listening, I'm hearing the Lord, and asking the Father, what is this? And we know what it is. This is straight end time prophecy. I see it as the Medes and the Persians coming after, what we consider to be this great Babylon, or this Babylonian system. I see a lot going on just watching it. And as I'm watching it, I'm just taking it in, quietly taking it in, and watching it as I go, and referencing our word, and let our word guide us in it. So oh, I miss y'all too. I miss it. I miss it. It's a lot going on, family. So much going on that I am not going to be out here for 2 hours. Y'all might get about 30 minutes of me. Because once I get done, I'm getting ready to go to bed again. Because that's that rest, y'all. But it's a lot, y'all. Man, it's a lot. Oh, I don't know where to start. First, you have the Iran and Russia. Have y'all seen the clapback from Iran to the US? You got that. Then you have the war. Then they talk about taking foot troops in the next couple of weeks. Iran said, if you come over here, I heard just here recently, Iran said they getting ready to, I think it's in Qatar. They're going to bomb any US universities that's over there in the Middle East if they send ground troops. It is so much going on that I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like, I don't know where to start. It's like, I almost need a little, y'all know them little thing that look like darts, and you spin it and it's like tick, 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 bam. That's what I feel like doing right now. It's that much stuff going on. I don't know where. Y'all pick a subject. Y'all just pick a subject. And the reparations with the UN, and Ghana coming over to the US, then going over there and lay the reef on the African slave grave in New York, and then Iran. I want to do a little bit more research on this Ghana thing. Y'all know me. I look at, like, I tell people this. They like, well, you got other sides. You got the African nations looking at the U.S. in some cases, because African Americans or foundational blacks, or blacks that were descendants of slaves that built this country, however you want to put it, the African colonies are irritated with us because we don't trust them. Yeah, I tell people, I say, you got to understand why we operate the way we operate. American born U.S. descendants of slaves, black people that came over here in the boat between 1619 until the early 1700s, until they stopped allowing them to come over in the boats. The descendants of them, we are very, very, very guarded. That's the best way to put it. Because so many people have pulled into us, or we've poured into them, and they've slapped us in our face. Numerous nations, numerous people groups, everybody has done that to us, that when people now come and tell us, oh, we just gonna stand, we looking at it, we giving everybody the side eye. And what people don't understand and respect is, they gotta respect the fact of, everybody has pulled from us and abused us for whatever reason. From African nations getting access to build businesses, to be able to go to our black colleges, that it was our people that laid their lives on the line during the civil rights movement to be able to give everybody access. This great wealth that they talked about they gained here, they disregard everything, the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors from the 1619s coming over here, building this nation to be what it is, still being disregarded and pushed out. We build our own, they destroy it. Then we decide, okay, we good with you. You know, we're going to still do our things. You don't let us in to your colleges. We're going to build our own colleges. We go out here and we say, well, you don't let us be a part of your economy. We're going to build our own economy, and constantly being slapped in the face. And then you go get individuals that look like us, but are not descendants of slaves, give them access to all the funds and access to all the education, and then put it under the Black umbrella. And we like, no. That ain't how it works. So I tell people, I say, you got to have grace where grace needs to be, and that's with our people. We've had so many people from, and I hate to say this, from the African nations coming over here, the Chinese coming over here, the Japanese coming over here, every single someone who's not of Caucasian descent getting over here and to be able to have access is because of our blood, sweat, and tears of our people, and we're still getting slapped in our faces. So because we're not receptive of Ghana coming over here and laying a reef on forget the reef. Are y'all standing with us? Are y'all standing behind us? Are you going to give us that? Are you going to stand behind us? Because we've already done the whole reparations conversation with the UN back, I think, in 2021. This isn't brand new. But yet it's still, they constantly looking at us like, why haven't you embraced us? Why would we? Because anybody we've let into our circle has burned us. You can kick a dog for so long to the point that the dog gonna bite back. And I ain't calling us dogs. But you can kick us for so long to the point we're like, no, we ain't trusting nothing nobody is saying to us, period. And you got people in the African nations, you even got people in the Israelite community looking at us like, embrace this. Why should we embrace anything when it comes to other nations who have at one time called us lazy? You have begun to build your narrative about us based on the teachings of white supremacy, looking down at us, because most Africans look at us like their parents tell them, do not come over to the Americas and marry a Black American because all of us are drug dealers. I understand that white supremacy has taught them that, but yet still they don't want to unlearn it when they meet us. They want to still consider. So I don't knock that my people are saying, I'm not going to jump into that too quick. Oh, you're making this great presentation to the UN. Oh, you're making this great presentation of Ghana. Everybody is utilizing us as their forefront. Why are you not setting a precedence in Africa for individuals that are being colonized? The European nations colonizing them. Why do you have to come over here and say, oh, we're making this great declaration that the transatlantic slave trade was the worst and most heinous crime in humanity? We've already established that. So sorry. We've already established that. Because that's a better narrative. You get what I'm saying? It's not easier, but you'd rather come over here because it's more financially sound to come over here to fight on there. But you're going to get money quicker for that. Not to say they're going to get any money, but you're going to do that. Why don't you go and fight for the South African that had to deal with apartheid? Why don't you go and deal with all these African nations that's dealing with their own form of colonization and fix that over there rather than come over here and try to fix this? Why? Why can't you go over into your nations and because let's call out the fact of y'all don't like to interact with one another over there in the continent. Let's be real and let's be honest. Y'all don't even like each other over there in the continent. Y'all still have to have visas to go in certain parts of Africa. Start the work there. Stop trying to come over here and start the work. You can't start a work over here that we've already started, that we've already done. Claude Anderson was trying his best. People forget Claude Anderson when he was standing 10 toes down saying, we got to do this. That's easier. But see, they want us to ignore a Claude Anderson that really set the root to the conversation about reparations. And they want to go and do an easier work. But then they mad because we as a people, Black Americans, the ones that our families came over here, blood, sweat, and tears with nothing, and built this nation to make it as great as it is. Make it as great as it is. Y'all want to come over here and pull from those resources, because I'm going to say this, the work has been done. Period. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it from the back room. The work has been done here. Our ancestors did the work. Our ancestors died doing the work. So it's easier because the format and the foundation has been set. So since it's easy, because the playbook is there, let me go over here and do a great presentation for the the African slaves in New York, and set a reef over there in South Africa for the ones that died from apartheid. Do that. It starts there. People are gonna hate what I'm saying, and I'm gonna say it from my heart. And I don't mean any harm. It's easier over here. It's easier. My ancestors, everybody's ancestors that derive from Black Americans here. That's the only word I can use right now. The ones that they blood, sweat, and tears. We came over here with nothing. They gave us nothing, and we worked with nothing. We built economies. We built culture when it was when they said we had no culture. We did all that. We did the hard work, and now you want to sit there and say, I'm gonna put a reef. I'm so sorry. Keep your reef. I hate to say it like that, and I hope people don't take it personal. Your reef means nothing to me. When you at one time didn't want to have nothing to do with us. Let's not talk about the Great Return, where people are coming back from Ghana because the Great Return didn't work. If you love us enough, Ghana, if you love us enough, Nigeria, break that rule down that says that we can lease land for 99 years. Give us land. That truly tells me you care. To say, we took from your ancestors that was here already, and we created our own kingdom, because some of those rulers and tribes over there made money from the slave trade. Let's give them land and not put the 99-year lease on. Some of them countries doing that. Collectively work together to say, let's really plan something so when they come over here, they got it. But what we're doing is we're running over there planning with them, and then we still get people returning back saying they selling us, but they selling us. I can't say the word, but they selling us a pipe dream. But you want to come back here. Now keep in mind, Ghana was one of the main ones that people were returning back from Ghana, saying Ghana ain't fulfilling that right. That Great Return was a great mess. They don't want to talk about that. That Great Return was a great mess, and it was a great scam. But y'all don't want to address that. But y'all want to take the scam even further, since have gotten smart about it and said, wait, some ain't quite right. Some ain't too good about that Kool-Aid. Some ain't right in the Kool-Aid on that one. We're going to stay here. They're going to say, well, we're going to come here, lay a roof, and stand before the UN and make a great posture of, that was the greatest. Let's talk about the Ghanaian, the people in Ghana, and the kings over in Nigeria, and all those different African tribes that was helping them find us and throw us on the boat. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You want to fight with the U.S. about giving us our rights? Go fight with France. Go fight with Spain. Go fight with the UK. Go fight with them, because they were actually the one that sat in the Berlin Conference. They sat in the Berlin Conference. Sit at the table and fight those nations. But it's easy to come over here because the Black Americans did the work. We did the work. Wrong, right, or indifferent. I don't care what people think about us. We may not be collectively working together the way we need to, but we at least did the work. That, guess what? You can't talk to me any kind of way. You can't take majority of the way. You can't do us any kind of way. And we did the work. Our families died doing this. How many people got lynched and didn't care? How many Nat Turners was sitting out there? It wasn't just one Nat Turner, it was multiple Nat Turners. We did the work. The framework is there. It's easy. Let me go over here and set up as if I'm saving them. Look, only person that's going to save us is Hamashiach, period. We already understand that. The Hamashiach is our savior. Ain't no man in this room can save me because he says, I will save them. So I'm not looking at no nation, even with Iran doing what Iran is doing. Can't nobody save us but Hamashiach. So I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And family, please don't be dumb enough to fall for it either. Because again, the work here is done. We've gained the skill sets. We went to our colleges. They said no to us going to college. We went and created our own institutions of learning. They said, no, you can't have wealth in your own. You can't be a part of our economy. We created our own economies and they destroyed it because we were a threat. You can't create jobs. You can't come into the job market. We bust that wide open. Even though they still have a glass ceiling, we still bust it wide open. And they know it. They know it. And we had to bow down and kiss the ring of the king. And we don't bow to the king. They want us to shut up. We're not going to shut up. I've heard something where somebody said, Africa said, why don't y'all just be quiet and stop arguing, and then they'll give us, no. That's not the way we made up. So everybody celebrate, oh, it's the year. They're going to come and say, ain't no ninja can save me out of this. He said, no man will be able to save you. No man. So great. I ain't going to say it doesn't work on our behalf. Sometimes the Most High will make somebody move to say something that will lead to another conversation, that will lead to some exposing. That's the hand of the Most High. But I'm still not finna get happy and go pack my bags and run anywhere. Not finna do it. Not finna do it. Sorry. Not finna do it. I'm not. Then they've shown us packing our bags going over there. All of us are running back. Y'all, it's only a handful with money that's able to survive. I had an African lady out of Tanzania say, oh, you're one of those Americans thinking you can come over here and just buy land. She said, it's hard for us to buy land over there. No. Thank you for the great presentation to the UN. And yes, UN voted. Well, some of it, not all of them. I think 3, which was Israel, Argentina, and the US said no. And then the other countries like the UK and a couple other countries just was neutral in the whole conversation. And then you got the rest of the countries that agreed upon it, which is fine. I think it was like 52 countries that were neutral, 3 that disagreed, and then the rest, I think 123, agreed to go with it. That's great. That is great and fantastic. I don't take away from that. But again, call a spade a spade. I am so sorry, saints. I'm going to call a spade and be real and have a real discussion. So y'all want to play pity pat with them? I'm not playing pity pat with them. You don't ever want to take me. I remember when some people were trying to start some stuff and wanted me to be a part. If I be a part of it, they're going to be pissed off and tell you they're not going to deal with you because we're going to call a spade a spade. No, we're not bowing to your king. We need our own. Got to think about how we stand and how our money flows. What can we bring to the table? We bring a lot to the table, period. We bring a lot to the table. But they don't want to see that. They want the money, but not us. Because the next conversation will be, okay, can we get this reparations to tie to our country. We know we talked about this family a while back. They're trying to create another region in us. I forgot what their region is called. And they want to take that wealth and put it into their economy and then walk away to say, oh, you could be a part of it, but we got your money. Y'all's ancestors didn't lay their life on the line for this country. Y'all's ancestors go fight with the UK, go fight with Spain, go fight with all these countries that during the Berlin, Region 6, the Berlin Conference, and go get y'all stuff. Quit constantly trying to get our stuff and saying that you are doing this because you want to call out it's transatlantic. If I was an African, I'd be like, why the hell are y'all over there with them? What about what the colonizer did over here to us? Why are you over there fighting for theirs? They got their own fight for reparations because we fight. Claude Anderson called it out. Now, if you want to partner with us, that's fine. But even with that partnership in the conversation, we finna figure out what are y'all doing over there. Have y'all declared to the UK for your reparations? Have you declared to France for your reparations? Have you declared to all these different countries that broke y'all's countries up? Have y'all went over there and said, give us our stuff? Because y'all ain't laid that foundation yet. Y'all don't want to put in that work. I'm just be honest. Y'all don't want to put in that work. Too many people have died. Too many of our ancestors have died fighting for the freedoms. Whatever freedoms we got some we still have freedom. I got freedom to be able to go walk outside and go into any store in the US without being lynched, ride on any bus, go into any job. We laid that foundation. They can behind the scenes hate us and hold us back, but publicly you can't snatch me out my house here in New York because I told a white person what they can do with themselves. You can't snatch me out of my house and lynch me. There are some nuances out there where you see situations where you see, not nuances, but you see some things where what's happening in Mississippi in certain areas where people are still being lynched. But I bet you if they find out who the lynch mob was, I can take them to court. I can take them. They can get charged with murder. They can get charged with murder if they're found. There was a day they couldn't get charged with murder. So you can't tell me my ancestors did not lay the foundation and y'all trying to feed off the foundation. Why are you in the UN speaking on our behalf? That's disrespectful. And people don't realize the disrespect in that. If anything, you come to us, a representative other than Al Sharpton, let's clear that up, to say, we're going to support you. You will be the voice. No, they want to stand up there before the UN. And I said, y'all don't see the disrespect in that? And you got some of our people like, oh, they standing up for us. We have people, but these are the same people that will say Ghana's standing up for us. But Dr. Martin Luther King was a joke. Malcolm X was a joke. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all of them, oh, they were jokes. They would talk about them like a dog. But go over there to those African kings and bow to them. And they were, some of their ancestors was the ones that handed us over to the colonizer. Don't get me started on that. And the thing is, it's not really a fight, because if you really look behind the scenes, it's really just making the slave trade the worst crime in humanity. Okay, that's fine. But what about the crimes in South Africa? What about the crimes in the Congo with King Leopold? What about the crimes in Nigeria? What about the crimes in Sierra Leone? What about the crimes? What about those crimes? Why are y'all not going before the UN for what they did to y'all in Ghana? I just can't get it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. Everybody ready to have a kumbaya moment. I'm not doing it. I don't trust. I'm with the rest of my Black American descendant of slaves, because we all descended from the slaves that built this country. Well, majority of us. I'm with them. I'm rocking with them like, I don't trust that. I don't trust that. I don't trust that. Because so many people have used our movement to benefit and profit off of it. Did I say that? Oh, did I say that? that numerous people have benefited off of our movements and our oppression. Oh, did I just say that? Let me repeat that again. Many have benefited from the movements and the oppressions and the atrocities of our people and left us standing in the dust. Oops, did I say that? Did I say that, family? Did I say that? Did I really say that? Ooh. Did I hurt some feelings by saying that, y'all? Let me see. Let me say, family, did I give me a one? If I said that, do y'all understand what I mean? Ooh. That should sting some people. Oh, it should sting some people. It should sting them. How many people have benefited from our? Oh, I said that. Oh, I created some more enemies. I don't care. I'm gonna have some more folks talk about me, y'all. I give them something to talk about. Oh, Sister E. Oh, Sister E. Did you say that? Did you say that people have benefited? Oh, it stung a little bit for some people in the back room. I have yet to see anybody not benefit from our blood, sweat, and tears. Our tears, our ancestors dying. How many? Even for those Africans in New York that you stood on their graves and put a wreath on there just to ooh, damn. Excuse my language. Did I really say that? That should sink in. So the next person who want to benefit, they're gonna benefit now. Try to benefit. Y'all made money the first time off of us. Woo! Did I say that? Oh, did I say some of those African leaders made money that made profit off of us the first time? Oh, did I say that? They made profit, y'all. Y'all know that? Some of those African leaders that are still over there right now, some of those tribes over there, they made profit off of leading the colonizer to us and putting us on the boat. Europe and them didn't understand the insides of Africa, the inward parts of Africa. But guess who did? Oops, did I say that? Oh, family, did I really say that? Oh, I'm stinging them tonight. Seriously. Care about nobody think. Y'all know I don't. That's what I love about flying solo. I don't care what folks think about me. Oh, let's talk about that elephant in the room. Let's talk about that big fat elephant that's in the room. How many you stand before and apologize to us, even though y'all did that fake apology in Ghana and then turned around, we got there and y'all scammed us, some of our people, and they had to come back from Ghana. Y'all already made y'all profit. Y'all made y'all profit back when y'all was throwing us on the ships. Somebody said y'all sold us for some peanuts. I said, oh no, that's wrong. But y'all so y'all was trying to get guns and get all types of stuff. And y'all traded us in. Y'all treated us like we trade. Oops. But then guess what? Y'all trying to cash in one more time. Okay, we made money the first time we're selling them. Let's make some more money. We're saying we're going to get them back. We want to get them back. Let's say reparations and we're going to get some more money. Y'all keep pulling from us, ain't it? Y'all keep pulling. Y'all keep pulling. Did I say that, y'all? I meant it. Every single word I said. Africa owes us. Did I say that? Oops. Oops. Did I say that? I meant that. Yeah, am I going too far? Tell me if I'm going too far. Africa owes us. Oh, y'all, they gonna talk about me in the back room. Good. Africa owes us. Africa owes us big time. Oh, y'all talking about the European. Y'all talking about the colonizer. Y'all talking about they're part of that colonizer. Oh, they are part of they are colonizer. Y'all standing before the courts. We want to say that yes, it was the worst thing that ever happened. Your ancestors had a hand in it. Oops. Did I say that? Oh, oh, they gonna really hate me. Oh, they gonna hate me. Oh, they gonna hate me. Sister E is burning somebody's ears up right now. Y'all know I don't care. I'm gonna tell you something, and I hate to say it like this. Africa knows they owe us, but they hiding. And they say, we're just like you. No, 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 no. No, you're not. Not to say some of our people aren't over there. Let me clarify that. Just in case folks try to mince my words, because saints love to mince my words, honey. Saints love to mince my words. I ain't saying some of my people aren't over there. Yes, they are. But in the midst of them, there were African tribes that made profit off of us and are still wealthy because of that. Still wealthy. Did I say that? Oh, did I say Africa owes us? So while y'all saying the reparations from the US, I say US, let's say reparations from y'all. Y'all benefited. Y'all took the wealth of our people who brought it over here when we were all trying to hide from 70 AD. All of us started coming over here. We brought our wealth. We brought our skill sets. We brought all types of stuff over. We brought everything over here. And guess what? When they snatched us up, y'all took it and divided amongst the tribes, amongst the tribal leaders. Y'all divided the wealth amongst each other and said, oh, we're done with them. Good. Well, let's keep going. And guess what? The U.S. said, we ain't done. The other colonizers said, we ain't done. We finna go back over there. We finna take our nations and divide it up amongst each other. They don't even own their nations yet. Fight for your liberty. Tell friends, even though I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Y'all finna hurt y'all feelings on this. Abraham, whatever his name is, he ain't did enough for me to say, man, the dude is killing it. France still has some power over there, period. Is it in, I think it's in the Congo? He still got some power over there. South Africa is still, the Boers are still cutting up over there. Ghana is still being owned by, come on now. Y'all make a single percent of the wealth, like 3% of the wealth, and the rest is the colonizer. At least we fighting to have some form of wealth, some form of, come on now. That's why they say we're rich. In some cases, they look at us like we're wealthy. Don't get it twisted. They look at us like we're wealthy. I had some friends that are from Africa. I have some African friends. They say when they look at us like we're wealthy. And we're like, hold on, how is that? They did. The European, I say that, I'm going to share this right here. Because he did do that. The European colonizer pulled an Uno reverse on the African nations. They sure did. Let's say, because the thing is, they could not do it. I'm going to be honest, when our ancestors was over there. They had a little bit of a fight on their hand. Let's go ahead. And their goal was, let's depopulate it. Let's get these people out of here. And let's get these people out of here. And then once they out, we're going to take that land. They couldn't took it then. They wanted to put on y'all so funny. I'm ignoring y'all. Y'all are hilarious. But I ain't gonna put that up there. But read the comments. But yeah, I'm not fleeing. I ain't going nowhere. And I'm not trusting them, period. Ghana and the rest of the African nations got to do a little bit more for me and the rest of my people. I should have brushed my eyebrows. For my people to say, oh, okay, that's a great word. Standing before the UN, we done it. Come on now. We did it before they did it. We did it way before they did it. And then they came back. Oh, Africa, Ghana did. No. We did it before them. I think we did it in 2016, whatever time period it was. We stood before, and they did make an announcement that slavery was pretty much bad. This ain't new. This ain't a new conversation at the UN. This has been an ongoing dialogue. And you go up there and you grandstand. That's what my mama used to call it. Grandstand. You go up there and grandstand and just give these great, somebody say, what's in that cup? Juice. You're going to grandstand and say, oh, we as the people of Ghana. Negro, please. Don't do nothing. Let me play it real quick for y'all. Y'all wanted a show, y'all got a show. Y'all, I'm losing my voice. That's why I sound like that. Grandstanding. My mom calls that grandstanding. Y'all are funny. Let me see. Grandstanding. I'm not for the grandioso. My mom used to call it grandioso. Um, Presentation. Negro, please. That don't work with me. I'm so sorry. I'm not moved, and I don't care if whoever in the community says whatever. Yeah, that's grand. That's being grand. That's what we call it. Grandstand. I'm gonna share a little bit of it. Why y'all had me talk about this? Somebody said don't pull a Leandria Johnson. Y'all, I'm not pulling Leandria Johnson. Y'all are something else. This is strawberry lemonade. Hold on one second. Let me see. Y'all are funny. Where is share my screen? Y'all, they've changed StreamYard a lot. Hold on.
Addressed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Thank you, everybody, for the gifts. I'm gonna make an announcement at the end for all the gifts. At the end, I want to get you gifts.
Thank you, Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. At this 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, I'd like to speak about Africa's role in the future of this organization. However, it's impossible to do that without first considering the collective role that Africa played in its founding, which was small and relatively insignificant. Of the 51 member states involved in the founding of the United Nations in 1945, only 4 were African: Egypt, Ethiopia, Liberia, and South Africa. It is important to point out that the United Nations came into being in the aftermath of World War II because of the inability of its predecessor, the League of Nations, to avert a large-scale global conflict, which had been its guiding purpose when it was founded in 1920 at the end of the First World War. Out of the 42 founding member states of the League of Nations, only 3 were African: Liberia, the Union of South Africa, and Ethiopia. Egypt was to join later in 1937. Africa's overall...
What people don't realize too, Liberia, a little history behind Liberia. Does anybody know the history and of Liberia? Liberia, actually, it was 2 countries that did not get taken over by colonization, and people don't want to talk about this. Ethiopia was one. The other one was Liberia. Liberia did not, because Liberia were made up of African Americans, people descended of slaves. They gave that land to them, and they went over there and created their own nation. In fact, in Liberia, they have areas of Liberia that that are named after U.S. Named after U.S. countries, and in fact, their presidents, the past couple of presidents, a lot of those presidents, they're descendants of slaves. They don't want to tell you that. They ain't gonna tell you that story in the back. Everybody else had been taken over by colonizers. It was only two: Liberia and Ethiopia. The rest of them had been taken over because the U.S. didn't see those other nations that was taken over during the whole conference. They knew they couldn't touch Liberia at that time because Liberia had already been, it's pretty much ran by Black Americans. Now, did they do it correctly? No. They went over there and put those people through some of those people through the same slavery that they had been through. But yet, they still don't want to bring up the fact that Liberia is mainly ran. I don't know about now, but in some years back, they were pretty much ran by Black Americans, people of African American descent. Oh yeah, fair use. Let me go ahead and put this. Y'all know I ain't did this in a while. Let me put this under here. All these things are being taught because of educational purposes only. All right, we're here. Sheila, don't get on my case. But yes, they won't talk about that. But I carry on.
Participation in the organization's founding was minimal and relatively unimportant. That's because before all the other talks and meetings, representatives from a group of 14 nations gathered in Berlin for a series of discussions that began in 1884 and which led to the partitioning and formal colonization of the African continent, which is also called the Scramble for Africa. It has famously been written that past is prologue. Well, in the past, the majority of the 54 nations that now comprise Africa were never offered a seat at the table where plans for a new world order were being drawn. But, Madam President, as fate would have it, the tables are turning, and Africa's role in the authorship of whatever is yet to come for this world is going to be huge, and it will be consequential.
I was always taught that the beginning of somebody's conversation is the true essence of what they really mean, because they want to push their point first. The whole point is the pushing of the African nations. They want to be on the forefront. They want to be the face of the Black nations. And their biggest fear is, one, we ain't fighting for it. But if you put us on the floor, we've been doing this thing a little bit longer than them. I'm going to be honest. So in this conversation, Africa is trying to switch the narrative and say, don't look at them because we're going to help them, but make us the face. Have you noticed? That was the beginning of it. Always pay attention to the beginning of the conversation because it's the root of the true essence of the conversation. He built this whole timeline of how Africa has been involved in the United Nations and how we've been here, he's laying out his pedigree. That's what he's doing. Do y'all get what I'm saying? He's laying that foundation first. Whenever you're getting ready to present an argument, you lay your foundation first. He's laying his foundation.
According to this organization's own projections, by the year 2050, more than 25% of the world's population is expected to come from the African continent. Additionally, by 2050, 1/3 of all young people aged between 15 to 24 will be residing on the African continent. So you see, the future of this world is African. Allow me to say this once again a little louder for those of you in the back. The future is African. Already today, Africa is a catalyst for human potential and development, as well as for economic reform and ecological stability. Africa is a catalyst for systemic change. If this reality, which is fact-based and straightforward, seems provocative or unsettling, perhaps it's because you are viewing it through the lens of centuries of filters, colonialism and imperialism, and the resulting implicit bias. Maybe you are unaware of the resilience of African nations or their remarkable ability to make a strong comeback just when you think it's safe to count them out. That is what is happening right now in my own country, Ghana. Our constitution limits leaders to 2 4-year terms. In January, I was sworn in for a second term, which, let me point out, was non-consecutive with my first term. Our currency, the Ghana cedi, was rapidly depreciating, faced with rising inflation, a huge debt burden, and low morale amongst our citizens. My new administration settled down quickly and embarked on an ambitious program of comprehensive transformation designed to restructure Ghana's economic foundation.
Now, y'all, we are now in the midst of this conversation. He's laying, somebody said, please come out more. We need somebody with damn sense. Correct. Because everybody else is crazy as hell to me. Sorry. But, well, a lot of people. You see, he's laying the foundation of this is what Africa's doing. He's presenting his argument. He's presenting his case. He's presenting his foundation. He wants you to see that Africa is the future. He ain't said nothing about reparations just yet. He ain't said nothing about Black Americans. He's going to probably bring us in as a part of it. But he wants to show, I'm going to present to you what Africa is doing. Africa is doing this. Africa is doing that. This is what Africa is doing. He's setting his case before the judge to say, bam, now let's bring in the Black Americans. I'm not a then conversation. Because yet it's still all this foundation that y'all talked about, it took the help from China. It took help from Russia. It took help from these other countries coming in, teaching and helping and getting, because the colonizer was killing, was raping the land. Let's just be honest. But you want to lay the precedents to say, this is what we're doing. You get what I'm saying? Y'all, come on now.
And enhance our competitive standing globally. We refer to this process of recalibration as our reset agenda. In just 8 months, we have achieved significant reduction in inflation from 23.8% in December 2024 to 11.5% in August 2025, restoring price stability for our citizens. Additionally, our currency, the Ghana cedi, has appreciated considerably against other currencies, with Bloomberg reporting it as the best performing currency in the world at one point. Our improved sovereign credit rating reflects increasing investor confidence in our economy. And our 24-hour economy initiative promises to transform our economy. And there's a renewed willingness amongst our people to trust that their elected officials have Ghana's interests at heart and that we're progressing together. Madam President, I believe that in honor of this milestone celebration, the United Nations should also embark on a process of serious recalibration and establish its own reset agenda. Since the organization's founding, the number of UN member nations has nearly quadrupled. And quite frankly, it is not the same world that it was back then when the UN was formed.
Has the greatest atrocity in all of humanity, has that come up yet? No. He's still building upon, this is what Africa's doing. This is what we need. This is how we're gonna, he's just building his little plan to say, come on, y'all. Come on. We can't be this stupid, y'all. I just can't say any of that. We can't be this gullible. Maybe stupid is too harsh. We cannot be this gullible and don't see what's going on this stage, y'all. Open y'all's eyes. I know y'all tired of the BS that we're dealing with in this country and what we're dealing with as a people, but don't get so tired that we become foolish and not pay attention to the writing of the wall. Yet has he brought up anything about what his nation did to put us in chains. to help put us in chains. He ain't brought that up yet. Nigeria ain't finna bring that up yet. All these countries and these great leaders ain't bringing it up yet. They're going to build a case to take more money from us. Come on, y'all. We can't be this gullible. I'm tired of being in an oppressive environment as well. I'm tired of being the last and not the first. All of us are tired of it. Every single one of us in the room. We ready for the Hamashiach to come and get us out this foolishness. We're all ready. But don't be so ready that you will be foolish. What did he say? He said, if you look for me in the desert in Matthews, I'm not there. Don't go look at me. Look for me here. I'm not there. Don't go look here. Don't look nowhere else. Because when I come, I'm coming in the sky. That's who's coming to save us. He can't save us. Ghana can't save us. Africa can't save us. Iran can't save us. Nobody can save us but who? That's why we got to continually look up. That's why he said your salvation is coming up from him. None of these, because all of them are all trying to do what? Take more and more and more and more and more and more from us until we just tired. And we're so tired and we're so exhausted that we're running with our eyes closed and we're finna run into a wall if we think that these people are going to save us. Nobody is. Y'all can have these diplomatic, everybody wants to be a diplomat all of a sudden. Everybody wants to go and talk to these nations to say, please help us. I'm not begging nobody to help us. We've been doing good by ourselves this long and we're going to continually do all right by ourselves. We ain't never need nobody to help us this far along. We still don't need nobody's help. The Most High is going to have to help us. Now, the Most High can move others because there is a prophecy that he's going to bring the nations that scattered Israel. He's going to bring them to bring us back together. That's going to happen, but it's going to be him. And we all going to collectively know it's him. But this right here is a grandstand for more money. Period. And I will stand toe to toe with anybody on this. Y'all don't be crazy because y'all tired. I'm tired too.
I mentioned earlier that I began my second non-consecutive term as president this past January. My first term ended in January 2017. In that span of time, 8 years, the world has changed with such ferocity. My first days in office after my return felt as though I had just awakened from a Rip Van Winkle style sleep. Now, no, that was only after 8 years. Imagine then what it will be like after 80 years since the founding of the United Nations. In 1945, the sun had not yet set on the largest empire in history. The most common mode of international travel was by sea. The personal computer had not been invented, let alone made portable. And television, a new convenience, was still in its infancy, albeit in black and white color. Relations between the US and the Soviet Union were turning frosty, with Winston Churchill declaring that an iron curtain has descended across the European continent. Fast track 80 years on, in today's world, hundreds of thousands of commercial flights take off and land every day.
He never brought anything up about our history. I'm going to be honest, and I'm finna say this, and I don't care about people being mad at me. Iran talks more about our history and our oppression than them. That's what's dangerous. Iran already talking about Malcolm X and the legacy of Malcolm X and what Malcolm X did. I'm just gonna be honest, I hope y'all don't take it no kind of way. But Iran is talking more about Black Americans' oppression than them. Y'all, come on now. Come on. How is it Iran is saying I'm fighting for the oppressed? And they got if you go look at that part 2 of the clapback at the US, they had Malcolm X up there. And and what Malcolm X said. You know what? They doing more than them. I hate to say it. Y'all hope y'all don't take it wrong. Iran is saying more about us than them. Y'all grandstanding. Iran said, man, y'all don't see that. Y'all see, man, sorry, y'all. Iran is talking more about our oppression. Iran, with 1979 said we ain't finna when Iran went in and to the U.S. Embassy and took all those people and said we're gonna let the Black Americans go because they've been oppressed. Sorry, y'all. Y'all can take however y'all want to take it. That's what I see. They're trying to take more money out of us. Period. Iran is the one that's saying these are the words of your great Malcolm X. They have a street called Malcolm X. Man, don't fall for the banana. You know what? I'll leave it right here. I'm sorry, y'all. Because they look like us, don't necessarily mean that they for us. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. So sorry. Because they look like us don't mean that they're standing with us. The best thing to do is put somebody in front of us that looks like us and say, we're standing. You standing before the UN. Iran is saying the hell with the UN. I hate to say it. I'm just saying, this is what I'm seeing in these YouTube and these TikTok streets. Come on now, y'all. Come on, y'all. Don't be so tired that you become naive. Come on, y'all. This is why they want me. This is why some people in the Israelite community be happy when I'm quiet. Because I'm not falling for the banana in the pale tailpipe. And I tell them it's a banana in the damn tailpipe. Excuse me. That's why they love it when I'm quiet. But I sit quiet for a minute and I watch. I pay attention. Don't think that I ain't watching and paying attention. I'm paying attention very well. But don't be so stupid and so, I hate to say stupid. I don't want to call it. Don't be so tired and naive that we fall for this because they look like us. That's the best trick of the enemy. Let me put the very people that look like y'all and you fall for it. Think about this, y'all. If we ran over there, all of us collectively ran over there, one, we'll be easily accessible by other nations to destroy us. Two, these very nations that are jealous of us will come at us. That's why the Most High has to bring Judah and Ephraim back together. Because Ephraim, truth be told, was always jealous of Judah. So there's going to always be some beef there. That's why he says, I'm going to bring those two branches. So if Ephraim, majority of Ephraim is in Africa and majority of Judah is over here, and we try to come together, it's going to be war. It's going to be war, being honest, because that jealousy, you still see it. Even in the spiritual realm, you still see that jealousy there. With even some of those that are over there that call themselves Ephraim and us that stand over here and call ourselves Judah, you still see that jealousy there. Just being calling, and Judah is arrogant. We're a little bit arrogant. I'm admit it. We're a little arrogant. Come on now. I ain't gonna sit here and play like we just the innocent person in the room. Judah's a tad bit on the arrogant side. I'll admit it. That's why they can't stand us. And then they jealous. It's just, it is what it is. I'm not all of them. I'm not saying all of them are Ephraim, but some of them are Ephraim. Some of them are. Some of Ephraim are over here. So let's keep going.
Have been digitized so that volumes of literature can exist on a small device, small enough to fit inside your pocket. We live in a world of cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, social media, the internet and its dark hidden dungeon of the dark web, all of which carry a potential threat to global peace and security. Climate change is real, and we're fighting a losing battle against the loss of Maldives and other island nations to the rising sea level, against the loss of Timbuktu to desertification and the Amazon forest to global warming and deforestation. Madam President, the UN Founding Charter is outdated when it comes to representation in this august assembly. The most powerful post-World War II nations are still being rewarded with an almost totalitarian guardianship over the rest of the world. And yet, the first sentence in Chapter 2, Article 1 of the UN Charter declares that the organization is based on the principle of sovereign equality of all its members. If this were true, and was the case, a continent as large as Africa, with its numerous UN member states, would have at least one permanent seat on the Security Council. Furthermore, we believe that veto power should not be restricted to only 5 nations, nor should it be absolute. There must be a mechanism in this House for the General Assembly to challenge a veto. No single nation should be able to exercise an absolute veto to serve its own interests in a dispute. In 1995, during the 50th anniversary of the United Nations, Nelson Mandela stood in this very spot. And he said, the United Nations has to reassess its role, redefine its profile, and reshape its structures. It should truly reflect the diversity of our universe and ensure equity among the nations in the exercise of power within the system of international relations in general, and the Security Council in particular. I close quotations. 30 years later, we African leaders are still making the same simple request for a permanent seat on the Security Council with the power of a veto. So today, Madam President, I stand here in this exact spot and ask the world, if not now, then when? We demand not only a reform of the Security Council, but also a reset of the global financial architecture, which is currently rigged against Africa. Africa must have a greater say in the world's multilateral financial institutions.
Ding, 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 ding. That is the reason for him standing before the UN. It had nothing to do with it, with us. It had all to do to having a presence within the UN, to have a little bit more power within the UN. Y'all had nothing to really do with us. How long has he been talking? They telling you, we got to understand. They will tell us anything to keep us. Oh, he stood up there and stood on our behalf. No, he didn't. He stood on Africa's behalf. He ain't said nothing about us. He gonna make us the closing statement possibly. But I ain't heard nothing. But that was the goal right there. That's the goal right there. They want a better presence. And how can you have a better presence? We have the U.S. Black Americans coming into the you got to realize our power, y'all. We got a lot of power. If Africa can get us into their network, we know how to network with them. They really don't, because they would have networked by now. It's too small of a group. We know their language. We know their strategy. We understand their environment. We know how to get into their systems because we have. And we've done it better than them, period. Period. We've done it better than them. So the best way to do that is, let me bring up, let's not forget honorable mention of Black Americans, because they need us, y'all. Do y'all realize how much power we got? Do you realize how much, for how we know the system? They really don't know the system, y'all. They don't know how to maneuver in the system. So guess what? I'm going to stand and you still don't understand the system, bruh. Period. Period. But hey, he is yet to mention us, y'all.
And while I'm making requests, I'd like to call for the removal of the blockade on Cuba. As Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, our nation's founder, famously said, we seek to...
He brought up Cuba first, y'all. Pay attention to that. Let's keep going.
be friends with all and enemies to none. The Cuban people shed their blood on African soil in the fight against apartheid. And indeed, Cuba has been and continues to be a faithful friend of Africa. You see, the very fact that I can stand here and ask these things and say these things, and the fact that all nations can ostensibly gather here to address critical global issues, air our grievances, and express our concerns, that is what makes the survival of this organization so important. In every old city or village, you will find a town square, or a courtyard, or a plaza that once served as a gathering space for the citizens of the community and their leaders. Meetings and celebrations were held there, as were trials and elections. And these were spaces that brought people together and held them together as a community. Sadly, time and technology have eroded these spaces. Madam President, in many ways, the United Nations is the proverbial town square of our modern global village. And it has never been more critical for us to protect this one space that brings and holds the world nations together as a community. The internet, social media platforms.
I have a question, y'all. All these Israelite platforms is talking about this and cheering for this. Have they thoroughly played it for y'all? Everything he said, or are they just telling you what they said? Because when you really look at what he said, have y'all heard of anybody play the entire speech? Give me a yes or a no. This is the first time I've heard somebody play the entire speech. Because if we really play the entire speech, y'all, yes, if they played the entire speech, no, if they haven't, you will see we ain't even the bulk of the conversation, y'all. This is why I tell family, y'all go do your research. Go listen to these things yourself. Don't take the word of nobody. Research yourself and question everything. I have no problems about questioning it. Has he yet said anything? I'm going to keep playing.
And artificial intelligence offers the illusion of connectivity, when in fact, what they do is reinforce isolation by using algorithms that ensure that we do not receive new ideas and perspectives, but rather more of the same content. We are served alternative facts and manipulated images, making it easy to disseminate disinformation and sow seeds of division amongst communities. Madam President, these are dangerous times. Our world is currently experiencing a rise in nationalism and economic instability. There's a general breakdown of multilateralism. Various acts of aggression have been committed against the sovereignty of others, and nations are attempting to circumvent the very safeguards that were put in place to prevent large-scale global conflict. These conditions are all too similar to the ones that led to the League of Nations' failure in fulfilling its mandate. The denial of visas to President Abbas and the Palestinian delegation sets a bad precedent and should be deeply worrying to all member nations of the United Nations. Ghana recognized the state of Palestine in 1988 and supported a two-state solution to the conflict since then. And I say, contrary to the claims of some, a two-state solution would not be a reward for Hamas. It would rather be a reprieve for the hundreds of thousands of innocent women and children and people who are facing collective punishment and forced starvation for no reason other than the fact that they are Palestinian. For nearly 2 years and for the fear of reprisals, we here in this General Assembly have been playing hide and seek with language to find the right words to help us avoid or excuse what we all know is taking place in Gaza. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what you call it. If it looks like a duck, it swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck,
And we come
well,
to be at you.
then it must be a duck. The crimes in Gaza must stop.
Have we come up yet, y'all?
The crimes in Gaza must stop. Madam President, I also want to draw particular attention to the conflict in Sudan, which this body has described as the world's largest humanitarian crisis. 12 million people have had to flee their homes. And when we speak of migration, we refer to the 12 million new.
Y'all at the point to ask, is this the right video? Where he makes the proclamation about the transatlantic slave trade being the worst one. Is this the right video? Am I missing something? Because I ain't heard us come up one time. Is this the right video? Say yes, this is the right video. Because I'm so very confused. Is this the right video, y'all? Is there another video that I need to pull that he makes the declaration about the transatlantic slave trade? Is this the right video? Yes or no? So this isn't the right video. This is the right video, y'all. Say yes, this is the right video, or no, this is the wrong video. Is this the right video? This isn't the right video. Let me see. Okay, this is the old video. My bad, family. Let's go straight to the right video. So Steve knows she's wrong. But yet it's still, even though this isn't the right one, it still allows you to see where he's going. Let me go to the other video. Because I'm like, he said nothing about us. Let me go to give me the video where he says that he stood before. Oh, yeah, it's still finessing. I'm not stupid about that. I'm trying to find the video where he go before the UN and he's saying, we're standing for reparations. Let's see.
The first step towards healing is truth. The truth about the story of the transatlantic slave trade must be told. And this resolution at the United Nations is the first step. And we expect that with the consultations we've done and the endorsement of the AU, that finally the truth about the transatlantic slave trade being the gravest injustice and crime against humanity would be acknowledged.
That right there was the video. Let me see. Stop right here. Let me go back to this. It's been the gravest atrocities for all centuries. Now all of a sudden, y'all want to stand up and grandstand. I did that on purpose, family. Y'all know I'm not stupid. Y'all know I'm not stupid. Y'all know how I do it. I needed y'all to see at the very beginning what the true conversation was about. And now all of a sudden, we are the people. Y'all know me, right? Y'all know what the true grandstand was about. This is juice in this cup. I wanted y'all to see that first one. Let's go back and finish that one. Aha. Y'all know, have you ever seen when somebody say that? Then we'll talk about that.
Million new Sudanese refugees, whom we as a global community should be willing to assist in much the same way that many member nations readily.
There's a reason why I said, family, am I playing the right video? Did that purposely. I needed y'all to see what the true conversation was about before we go into that right there. Come on now, y'all. Y'all know me well, right? Y'all know that I've done my due diligence. Ask yourself why all of a sudden you've made this great grandstand of all these things and y'all ain't getting the pull that y'all need to get the financial support y'all need. Then says, let's do another pull. Let's pull. Oh, we're going to make. Why you didn't make this 6 months ago? If you had this epiphany, y'all should have had this at the very beginning. Aha. Y'all know me. Come on now. I know people are sitting there watching it like, why is she playing this video? This ain't the right video. That's why I stopped and said, this is the right video, y'all. Let's go to the other video. He made a grandstand, but 6 months ago. Let's see if he ever talks about it. I'm going to keep playing this. Don't be stupid, y'all.
He assisted new refugees coming out of Ukraine. Let's dispense with the euphemisms and dog whistles and speak frankly. It is not a mystery that when leaders of Western nations complain of their migration problems, they are often referring to immigrants from the global south. But many of those immigrants are climate refugees. And interestingly, the global north emits 75% more greenhouse gases than the global south. However, the effects of climate change are more severe in the global south because we lack the resources to address them effectively. And so when the desert encroaches on our villages and towns and they become unlivable, we are forced to flee. Warsan Shire, a Somali-born prophet, a Somali-British poet born in Kenya to Somalian refugee parents, was London's first youth poet laureate. She writes in her poem titled Home. And it says, you have to understand that no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land. No one bends their palms under trains beneath carriages. No one spends days and nights in the stomach of a truck feeding on newspaper unless the miles traveled mean something more than just a journey. Madam President, we cannot normalize cruelty. We cannot normalize hatred. We cannot normalize xenophobia and racism. If we're going to tell a story, let's not tell it slant. Let's tell all the truth. When we speak of migrants, we speak of Mami Ewusi Mensah Frimpong, a judge on the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. She's the first Black female judge on any of California's 4 federal district courts. She was born here in America to immigrant parents from Ghana. We speak of Peter Bosman, a medical doctor in Ghana.
Y'all see this? He's only bringing up history that's relevant to Ghana. I needed y'all to see this family. Oh, you see, he says they're born of immigrant. He didn't say Black Americans. Don't fall for it, y'all. Don't be gullible. Don't be gullible. I needed y'all to see this family. Instead of going straight into the actual video, I needed y'all to see this. He says she was a Black American born of parents of God. I hope I'm saying because I got Ghanaian friends. I'm saying it. People from Ghana, immigrants from Ghana. She was born of them. That's the Black history he's speaking of. Oh, y'all, come on now. I'm gonna play it again.
Of California's 4th federal district, California, Ewusi Mensah Frimpong, a judge on the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. She's the first Black female judge on any of California's 4 federal district courts. She was born here in America to immigrant parents from Ghana. We speak of Peter Bosman, a medical doctor in Ghana who moved to the town of Piran in Slovenia in the 1980s and later became the first Black mayor of Piran, the first Black mayor in Slovenia and in the whole of Eastern Europe. We speak of T. Michael, the iconic Ghanaian Norwegian artist and designer. And of course, we speak of the late Kofi Annan, former United Nations Secretary General. Former United Nations Secretary General and Nobel Peace Prize recipient, who was born in Ghana but spent his adulthood in various places in America and Europe. These are people who have brought great distinction to the countries that they decided to call home. Just as the migrants and the children of migrants before them did, I dare say these are not invaders. These are not criminals. Madam President, the slave trade must be recognized as the greatest crime against humanity. As the African champion on reparations, Ghana intends to introduce a motion in this August body to that effect. More than 12.5 million Africans were forcibly.
Now he pivots. He pivots. After he calls out all of the great people, that sit in seats, not African descendants of slaves, but immigrant Africans that benefited from the blood, sweat, and tears of our people. What about Thurgood Marshall? What about all of these individuals who are the first of everything that were African descent? He ain't talk about that. He ain't talk about our history. He talked about his history. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted and don't be stupid. Don't be gullible. Come on now, y'all. I need to see if he's finna go through the list of great Black Americans.
Taken against their will and transported to create wealth for the powerful Western nations. We must demand reparations for the enslavement of our people and the colonization of our land that resulted in the theft of our natural resources, as well as the looting of artifacts and other items of cultural heritage that have yet to be returned in total. We recognize the value of our land and the value of our lives, as did our colonizers, as well as the governments that happily paid reparations to former slave owners as compensation for the loss of their property, in quotes. And that property for which they received compensation was paid referred to enslaved people who had been freed. Madam President, an increasingly insecure world is witnessing upward spending on defense budgets of bilateral partners and steep cuts in official development assistance. Since July 2024, it is estimated that there's been a 40% drop in humanitarian aid globally. In this era of global uncertainty, Africa must exercise sovereignty over its natural resources to raise the necessary funds to ensure the well-being of its citizens. The days of parceling out vast concession areas to foreign interests for exploitation must come to an end. We'll continue to welcome foreign investment, but we must negotiate better for a bigger share of the natural resources that belong to us. And we must insist on value addition to these resources. We're tired of the continued...
Who's that natural resource, y'all? Be careful. There'll be another group that's trying to put the new set of chains on us. Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. Pay attention. Look at what he said 6 months ago. And then what he's saying now. Then go back to the original speech and look how he laid the entire speech out. It was all about Ghana. Don't fall for the banana and the tailpipe. It's all about them. People are paying pieces of this and pieces of that, and they're not looking at the timeline and when he said what he said and how he laid it out some months back. And then he comes back to this. And then all of a sudden, oh, he's for us. Go back and listen to the whole thing. After I finish this, y'all, I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Age of poverty-stricken, disease-ridden rural communities living at the periphery of huge foreign-controlled natural resource concession areas.
It's about them and their natural resources.
We're tired of having people extract the most they can from us and in return offer us the very least by way of respect, consideration, and dignity. We're tired of not being represented in ways that reveal the richness and complexity of our history or acknowledge all that we have overcome to arrive here in this liminal space of untold possibilities. Allow me to echo the Indian-American writer Arundhati Roy, who wrote, "Another world is not only possible, she's on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her briefing." I want to add that for the sake of Africa, and quite selfishly for the sake of my 18-year-old daughter, I hope that this new world that is arriving is a place of safety and equality for women and girls. To succeed, we must empower everyone, including women and girls, to reach their full potential. In closing, Madam President, I'd like to congratulate you on your election to preside over this historic 80th General Assembly and on being the fifth woman to hold this distinction. I'd also like to congratulate Her Excellency Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman on being the first woman Vice President of Ghana. Now every Ghanaian girl knows the heights to which she can ascend. Words matter, but issues of representation matter even more, which is why Ghana looks forward to the appointment of a woman as Secretary General of this organization in the near future. Madam President, Your Excellencies, I thank you for your kind attention.
Family, I'm getting ready to go to bed. Y'all see? Y'all see what the true essence of this is about. That's why I said at the beginning, I said, is this the right video, y'all? Let me go check and see if this is the right video. Let me go play the video he did and play that video and go right back to it. I need y'all to see how this is played before our eyes. The whole conversation at the very beginning, which was 6 months ago, was about building the resources of Ghana. It's never about us. Everybody just running. Oh, he says reparation. He talked about everything, and we got this much of the conversation why everything else was about Ghana. Then he referenced Ghana's history of the first black this, and she's from people from Ghana. And then this person was from people from Ghana. He talked about Ghana only. And then said, I'm going to give y'all this much. And some people are running off this much and saying, oh, he said, you better do your due diligence and figure out what the root was. The root was bringing the resources and wealth. He didn't even talk about the other nations. He said the hell with the rest of the African nations. Ghana been on one for the past couple of years since the year of the Great Return. That flopped quickly, and now all of a sudden he's standing before the UN on behalf of black men. He ain't standing on behalf of us. He's standing on behalf of them. Period. End of discussion. So, family, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't fall for the BS of people saying, oh, he's standing before. Look at the very beginning. Why? I come from a world where I work in problem management. We got something called the 5 whys. 5 whys. Why did he do this? Why is he saying this? Why? Why? Until you get to the root cause. The root cause of this conversation was getting the support of the UN for Ghana, because Ghana wants to be a great nation. It's not even about the wholeness of Africa. I meant to do that today, y'all. I needed y'all to see the beginning to now. Don't fall for the BS that these folks feeding y'all, making it seem like, oh, they standing for us. Go back and look at the beginning videos. Look at what he was saying. Do your due diligence. Don't just listen to me. If you come back to me and say, oh, no, Sister E, that's not what he was saying. Let's go back to the beginning. If somebody did that, I'll go back and say, hey, y'all, I stand corrected. I missed something. Let's go ahead and support Ghana in this, because I'm for my people. But some just didn't sit well with me. Something didn't sit well with me. And if y'all stand there and say they for us and the whole conversation was everything but us, don't come to me crying when they take your money. Don't come to me crying when they lie to us and we didn't. Don't fall for that damn banana in the tailpipe. He playing the game. He playing the game, and that's the reason why we don't trust. This is why U.S. Americans, or us descendants of slaves, I'm gonna say this: descendants of the children of the trans or the people. We are the children of the people that were tied to the transatlantic slave trade. People can't say I'm wrong with that. Everybody can't stand the FBA, Foundation of Black America. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna let people tackle with that term, but I'm gonna just go straight to the root. We are the children or the byproduct of the descendants of those that were caught in the transatlantic slave trade. He wasn't standing for us, y'all. Majority of we got about that much of the conversation. That if that much, we got that much, and my fingers closed. We got that much. That much. Everything was Ghana. UN, Ghana. UN. Oh, transatlantic slave trade. Back to Ghana. UN. It is what it is, family. Don't fall for that. Don't be stupid. And a lot of people say, "Oh, Sister E hate Africa." I hate it. I don't want to deal with anybody that's going to continually mistreat my people and use us. I have a problem with that. We've been used enough. Everybody has used us. I'm tired. Period. If they're not talking about my people and what they can do far as giving us reparations, I don't want to be a part of the discussion. Sorry. I hate to say it. Take it how you want to take it. If we not talking about us, I don't want to talk about it. I'm tired of standing. We're tired of standing for everybody and everybody ignoring us. I'm tired. Again, I hate to say it. Iran has said more about us than any of the African nations could ever say. Any of the African nations could ever say. And that's sad. That's very sad. That Iran has acknowledged that we are oppressed, that we are prisoners of war. They've made numerous, and Africa doesn't give a damn. I hate to say it like that, y'all. I know my emails sitting right here saying, "Now, Sister E, quit cussing." I can't find no other word. They don't give a damn. They don't. Africa doesn't give a damn about us. They don't. I haven't seen anything for me to say that they care truly. So I hate to say it. I'm sorry, Africa. Try it with somebody else. Don't expect for Sister E to sign up and the rest of us to sign up for the bull. But they don't. They don't give a damn about us. The only group that has really stood up and said, "You have mistreated a group of people," and made a grandstand about it was Iran. Damn, y'all. Excuse my language. Okay, I'm done cussing now. Dang, y'all. Man. Yep, unlimited. We got to talk because my people did come from Arkansas. So, with all that being said, family, email me unlimited because we might be people because I found out my grandfather had some other stuff going on. So, it may be a whole nother side of my family that y'all know how it is. So, call me or message me because we might be family. But y'all, now I was talking about this right here. They ask. So folks won't say I'm crazy. Hold on. Where's my? Oh, this is what happened when I have my little thing on the shit. Talk about this. They were asking this question. That's why I was responding to. So yeah, I'm getting ready to go to bed, but I just wanted y'all to be aware of the malarkey, the BS. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, family. And y'all know that I stand for truth and truth alone. And y'all know I'm finna look at things and I'm gonna scrutinize, and that's why I played the video the way I played it. That was intentional. That was intentional. Very intentional. I wanted y'all to see that part of the conversation leading up to now and really see what the real conversation was about. So with that being said, family, I care about our people. Not to say I don't care. When I say our people, I mean the wholeness of our people, not just within the U.S. I have love for the Caribbean. We all are part of the same family. Y'all, the Caribbeans, I have no beef with the Caribbeans because being honest, we were all on the same boat and we just had different drop-offs. My ancestors happened to be dropped off in the U.S. and then their ancestors may be in the Caribbean, and then in some cases, some of our people were probably already in the Caribbean and they just redirected us back into the U.S. You don't know, but even in my people in the UK, my people in the New Scottish people, call them themselves the Jacobites. I've seen this guy talk about it. I don't have any beef with them. I don't have no beef, but I do have beef when people are trying to use us and make money off of us. And we got to see it for what it is. I know y'all ready to go, but the Most High will save us, not a man. So with that being said, family, I love you. I wish you nothing but peace, happiness, and a shalom. I'm getting ready to go to bed because I got to get up in the morning. But I wanted y'all to see that part and just think through it and do your due diligence. Again, family, don't let nobody make a fool out of us. All right, family. Love you and good night. Thank you for subscribing as well.
All different type of information every week.